Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm Nate Roberts.
I am Rodney Godak. What's up, brother?
Oh, not too much. We loved X, and we
Oh,
finally
X is great.
X was
X
so good.
is wonderful.
And I rewatched it yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and it was so much better the second time. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I thought to myself, if I gave it an 8, I'm gonna give it a I'm bumping it up to a 9. If I gave it a 7, I'm bumping it up to an 8.
Sure.
After the second viewing, it there was
Yeah.
so much more subtext there. About like beauty and
Yeah.
ageism that I picked up on the first time we watched it, but I didn't really pick up on it till this second viewing. So
Yeah.
I
Well, in
want
the
to.
second viewing, always you get to see the nuance with certain shots because you're not distracted by other aspects of the first experience of the film, and so you're just able to soak in all the edges of the frame, as it were, and get all the gushy stuff. And so, yeah, I agree. My second viewing, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. So that being said, we obviously are here today to talk about Pearl, the latest from Ty
Pearl.
West, written though by Ty West and Mia Goth, not just
Mm-hmm.
Ty West like the last one.
Correctamundo,
Um,
Brett.
Not that that has anything to do with anything.
Not that there's
Not
anything
that
wrong with
there's anything wrong
that.
with that.
Of course
Of
not.
course not. So,
All right.
for those of you who don't know what we do, we review movies. You're gonna get our short review with no spoilers and a quick score. Then we're gonna crank it up a notch and spoil the shit out of it as we talk about everything we liked, didn't like, things like that. Um,
Uh-huh.
so, so let's get right down to it.
Yeah, strap
Um,
in, fuckers.
yeah, here we go. Pearl.
Onion.
The backstory on how Pearl became the person she was is the description of the movie Pearl on
how
IMDb.
how
What?
Pearl became the person she was.
The okay. So,
Rings
I
of
mean,
power.
you want to start?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
broad strokes here. This movie is technically and cinematographically a beautiful piece of art. It is intentionally filmed to reminisce and to recall the Gone with the Wind era, the Technicolor aesthetic. It's set in 1918, and so it's a period piece, and for all intents purposes, and it looks the part. The way that the characters interact and all of those things that all make sense. It's a very lush, vivid world to see where Pearl was before the events of X. And it's a small little snippet of that time, though, during World War One, as well as Spanish flu. So all of that set dressing and all that is there, but ultimately, for me, there's very little there. Aside from all of that beautiful, wonderful stuff, there's not enough purpose for the film, and the pacing of it was such that it was great to look at, but you're still looking at a film that you could envision being made over 60 years ago, 70 years, if we're talking maybe like the 50s or something, that 60s that it would be made. uh it's slow and it's kind of okay, I get it, but like there's not enough of the excitement that you would expect or hope. There's instances of it, and when those instances arise, they're awesome. I loved them, but it was few and far between. So for me, ultimately, it was very lacking, as beautiful as it is, and as much as I love the universe that it exists in.
Yeah, I have to jump right on there and say that yeah, X was an amazing film. Pearl does not exist without X. Pearl couldn't have come out first and stood on its own as a film. If it came out, you know, when X came out, we wouldn't have been clamoring for a sequel. In fact, we would have been pretty bored with a lackluster. I can't even say that it was a horror movie. It was,
No, no, yeah, I would
yeah.
not.
I wouldn't call it a thriller either. There was no suspense. This thing just moved from scene to scene, and if you're if you've seen X, you
which
which
did.
you definitely should before you see
Anyone
Pearl.
that went to this movie saw X.
Saw X, yeah. You,
I could think you'd probably count this many people on one hand that have
yeah,
seen it in the other way. Like that
right,
just there's no way.
yeah. So if you've seen X and you're watching Pearl, every scene you go, oh, okay, well that's how they put that together. Um, no, like nothing happens to tell Pearl's story that isn't in some way related to something you've already seen in X. They literally, what people complain about in Kevin Smith's movies is constantly self-referential. They made the mistake of being too self-referential. It was literally just an ode to X, and an unfortunately boring one with like lackluster kills, no suspense. Yeah, beautifully shot, beautifully acted. Mia Goth is phenomenal.
Yes.
She was better in this movie as Pearl than she was as Maxine in X, I think, like performance-wise. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, what was asked of her was immense in Pearl, and she does kill it. She is wonderful. She plays the the emotional range of this character that is personality disorder, bipolar, psychotic, demented,
yeah,
twisted, all of these words. She nails it, and it's always believable, and it's always excellent. And people have mentioned it in many places. We're not going to neglect from doing it. The She has a monologue. There's no spoiler here, but there is a monologue, and she is fantastic in it. Now, I have a little asterisk there. She's not Rebecca Hall. Resurrection and Rebecca Hall will own monologue of the year
yes. That monologue was a little better. Yeah,
for a lot of reasons. The story itself warranting a much more emotional experience in
yeah,
Resurrection than I think Pearl could provide,
sure.
because Pearl's, it's not that it's thin, but it's like this thing you don't know a whole lot. Like this film takes place where you don't really get to see this budding of this psychopath that's kind of already there. It might
Right.
explode, but it was always already there, and so you don't get to know what actually created the monster, and you don't really get to see the monster revel in being a monster and doing all their stuff. So you know, um,
All right,
it's
let's wrap up the quick portion.
yeah.
I'm gonna give Pearl a 6.
I giving it a 5.
Yeah,
I think that technically it can deserve a 6 with the way that it's shot, but because it's so lacking in all the other aspects, I don't think it deserves it.
right.
And that's my opinion. So I'm at a 5 with it.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the spoiler portion of the episode. Um, I think I would like to start with
Yeah.
a big missed opportunity of this film, and that is Howard.
Yes. Yes. 100% yes.
Howard, first of all, in X, kills up at least one, two people, right? He definitely kills.
Uh
He
he
kills
kills
he
Kid
kills Kid
Cudi
Cudi,
in the
and then
swamp, and
he locks the other girl in. He locks Jenna
yeah,
Ortega
he
in the
puts her in the
basement.
basement. And then does he shoots the first shotgun to Jenna Ortega as she runs out, cuz he's on the porch and he shoots it, cuz
Yeah,
when Pearl picks up to shoot it, she flies out the door.
she
So
flies out the door.
he kills
Jenna
two
Ortega, he
of
kills two,
the six.
six, right?
Yeah.
So okay, and he's
And technically only 5 died, so he killed
two of
two of
the
the
yeah,
5. Two
yeah.
of the 5. So,
So
yeah.
he is extremely overprotective of Pearl. He blames them for enticing his wife. He tells
Mhm.
them to stay away from his wife when they first get there. He kills two of the five, right? Um, why? Why? Why does he? What does Pearl have over him? What is? We didn't get to see that true love or that
Mm,
crazy love, right? That
right.
crazy natural-born killer psycho love that killed the other drifter and dumped the car in the pond before they even
Right.
got there.
Yeah.
So that was a huge miss. Now, the very last frame, when he sees the kitchen table set the way it is, and then
Right.
we get
The
we get the
homage to
yeah
Texas Chainsaw.
yeah we get yes we get the crazy smile. Like that was fun and a nice way to end the film as it was. But we needed more Howard. We need Howard would have made the story probably stronger.
Yeah.
That would have given
Well,
them.
because it was all pacing, I agree.
Yeah, it was
It's like
all pacing.
this
Oh, it was
this
so
this
slow.
this hour 42 could have been the first 30 minutes of an
Yeah,
amazing movie because you could have done this in 30 minutes. You didn't need
right,
all the detail. Like some of them are nice, but you don't need it. You could have made this 30 minutes, then you could have spent the next hour showing the progression between this time 1918 and the 70s when Wayne and his team come to the farm in X. You
right.
could have shown the guy in the basement. How do they get there? How does Howard go from coming back from the war to then covering up all of her misdeeds, like
Yeah,
the parents and everything else? How does that evolve? How's the relationship? Are they hunting people and bringing it back, or is it she's doing this and he has to clean it up? And it's sort of like
right.
there
Do,
that could have been a insanely enjoyable movie to see that connection. I don't like rewriting films for the artists. I
right,
don't know. Okay,
right.
it's not my
No,
fucking
exactly,
business. But I'm
exactly.
saying, as a viewer and a fan, I would much rather watch that than what I just watched.
Yes, I think it was the biggest glaring mistake. And once again, we don't want to rewrite it. We don't want to call it a mistake because it's their art.
Yeah,
But
sure.
but the way to fix Pearl, because it was not good, was to add more Howard and to flesh that story out. Because Pearl, yeah, okay, we know she's crazy pants, but like Howard is obviously crazy too. Like
Yeah.
he's in on
Yeah,
it.
forgot.
Like
Yeah, like why does he show why he has to go on as well? Like give us more. I get Pearl is the focus, but there's more to get into with him.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's not like you're doing Mia Goth or the character a disservice, but like it could have been more
Yeah,
because it's not as if you see her evolution into creating the crazy. Like it
right.
already exists, so we don't even get that. We just see this small snippet that kind of like began her actually killing, and that's all that it was.
Yeah. She she even says it in the monologue to the sister-in-law that, at first it was animals and then,
Right,
and then she doesn't say that it was humans, but then she's like, and then, killing was easy and it felt good.
right.
And well, that monologue was good, but like,
Yeah, it was certainly, but it didn't land as well as it could have because everything leading up to it was so like, okay, just going through the motions. Like I
yeah,
get that, she already did the thing with the projectionist. She already murdered
yeah,
him, and you saw her smother the father, like, and
yeah.
the mother getting,
Get her,
hereditaried, as it
yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you knew she was gonna kill the sister-in-law as soon as they went to the thing together. Like that was she was gonna get it,
Yeah.
and then she was gonna get it.
Well, and so that's the other thing too. I did see the trailer for Pearl. Like I can't remember if the actual trailer was the same trailer that was at the end of X. I don't recall because the only time I did see it was at the end of X
Right.
when I watched the trailer for Pearl. I never watched it since, so I forgot a lot, and so I rewatched the trailer after seeing it, and I'm like, "Fuck that trailer! It shows all of the good scenes that are going to happen." So like, you kind of know what's going to happen, but you're reminded when you watch the trailer. So don't watch the trailer; just watch the movie.
Yeah.
Christ, like
Stop making bad
stupid.
trailers.
Yeah.
um,
So yeah, so like the movie that could have been
movie that could have been, sure.
is what I'll describe it as. It's like and it really could have been something fantastic. I like the Technicolor look. I liked the music
Yeah.
crescendos and the absurdity of the imagery with
Yeah.
her dancing and doing these musical things. It all worked, but like the moments where it was neat, like it was just too few and far between. Didn't stay engaged
Yeah.
and hit those notes frequently enough for me. It was
There, wa-
slow.
there was too slow. There was too much her just wandering around, fluttering about
Yeah.
like they could have been cuts from like action beats. Like give us more when she didn't have to like she met the projectionist, and then, excuse me,
Yeah, it took a while. Yeah,
it
it
took a
took a while
while.
to get into like show and like yeah they show
Like
the pornographic movie and then
that,
he's trying to better and
then she comes back. Like she's crazy. Like, why doesn't she
yeah
just fuck him right there? Like, and then she expects all this stuff from him, and then she kills him because he thinks she's
right.
crazy. Like,
Yeah, and again, in the way that she's talking, because he's like kind of like rejecting her in a way. It's like her going from 0 to 100 so
yeah,
quickly is awesome, and
it
she's so
is.
great. But it's like, and I love that moment, but it's it's still not enough to keep it. It's too uneven. And again, so then the other thing, like there's a few moments where it's like the suspension of disbelief is kind of annoyingly a bridge too far. That keeping the small pieces of film in your little fucking pocket on your cross, hanging out of it, and as you're biking home, and then it goes, and you're like, oh my god, it's in the middle of the cornfield. What?
Yeah,
Cut.
yeah,
I was just like, it's not there. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what? I'm like, I'd be like on the ground, like, where is it? Where is it? And then trying to find it. Which way is the wind going? I'm gonna fall. Like, whatever. It led to a cool scene with the
yeah.
scarecrow. I loved that
Right.
scene.
It's a great
But
scene.
again, it's one of the scenes. It's a collection of cool scenes, but a bunch of nonsense
Yeah, and
between.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
only way to clean it would be to do what we had suggested:
and
trim it down,
trim it down.
keep the good scenes, and then the good scenes you got 30 minutes. Now you can tell a really cool story about fucking afterward with the other guy that is important to the story.
Right. Not to mention you get more kills this way too,
Yeah.
because like she really only killed the projectionist and the friend, like the dad and the
Yeah.
mom. Like you knew like something psycho-ish was gonna happen with those two.
Yeah.
Um. So there's not a lot of kills. There's a little gore. She has that fantasy of the explosion, which was whatever.
Yeah, that was shocking. That was kind of exciting. I was like, "Oh, wow, yeah." And it starts off early. She takes out the goose
The goose
for
feeds
like
it to the
no
yeah
purpose. Like I was like, oh, "Okay, this could be
yeah
something." That was quick that happened. It's pretty much her first scene
yeah.
after talking to them. She goes like, she goes out and she does that. And it was like it was a tease, and because then nothing happened until
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah,
end of the movie, practically.
cause what? Like she gets the money to go get the medicine. She goes and sees the movie.
Yeah, she sees the
The mom's
picture.
like, "What took you so long? There wasn't enough change. Oh, I did this. I bought candy. Oh, well then I'm gonna take your
Yeah.
dinner away." And it's like, okay, we know that this
The
is a bad.
friend comes over, mentions the dance. Now she's
Yeah,
stuck on the dance. Mother says you can't go to the dance. Now
yeah,
she's gonna sneak out for the dance. She's sleeping with the guy.
yeah. And it's all like, okay, like we get it. It makes sense, but like, why is this moving so slow? Why is this so like
Yeah,
actually uninteresting? Why is it taking so long to get to all of this stuff?
yeah,
We know that she's a bad mom. Like you get it from the first scene with
yeah.
the German dialogue, the subtitles. Like we get it. She's got a hard ass mom. Oh my God, the dad's a paraplegic, can't talk, can't
Right. Yeah,
move his
he's
head.
infirmed, and so like yeah, it's
Yeah,
a burden, and now she has to shoulder that burden, and like, and the idea, yeah, she wants a different life, and she wants to get out, but like, you're playing the same note over and over
over
again,
and
and
over.
it's just
Yeah, yeah,
bad,
yeah,
and I'm like, we got it, like you could, and I feel like so the one other thing that about this whole movie and this what will be a trilogy, which
which we'll talk
well
about in a second.
earmark about the trilogy
Yeah,
is that fuck, what was I saying? Like, what, what was the impetus? Like I know that Ty West has said in interviews he wants to create a trilogy. He's fantasized about that, and now once X was started, he saw an opportunity to continue the production chain and conveniently use the same sets. And so he opportunistically had the second film ready to go, and he shot it and did it, and it was in the can. Boom.
yeah,
I think it's smart that it was released the same year because I think interest would have waned significantly had they waited longer. And I also think that it would not have landed anywhere near as well as it's landing now for audiences because I think they'd be more aligned with how we feel now.
yeah,
I think we're just quicker to the punch, in a lot of ways. Like I think this would have like because I wasn't really interested in seeing it. It's not that I already kind of wrote it off, but I kind of my interest had waned because I was like, well, I already know what's happening, so what's there going to be?
yeah.
Um, So it's like it's the fact that he wrote it ahead of time. So I feel like it's sort of maybe opportunistic for him to do like, and he's so set in the idea of like, I want to make a film that looks like it's from this era. And I get that. It's artistic, it's cool. House of the Devil, 80s. X 70s. Now this sort of Technicolor, Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz type look.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not why to make the movie. Like there should still be a good movie even with all that
Yeah,
set
yeah, yeah,
dressing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah, Wizard
So
of Oz is was what I likened it to a little more than Gone
yeah,
with the Wind. But yeah, it
like, it's
was.
neat, but, like, is there a good movie there? Like, just because you made a movie with those that look doesn't mean that you needed to make that movie. Like, you proved you did it, good for you. I don't
Yeah,
wanna be a dick about it, like, I don't fucking know the guy, but, like, that's how I feel,
yeah.
after having watched it, and it sounds shitty, but this is just genuine, and I'm shocked that so many people are so positive about it. Like, I thought it was very, very neutral,
It
like,
has a
it's fine.
ridiculously high rating on IMDb right now. It's like
Ooh, I want
7.9.
to say more. I want to get into the
Yeah.
reviews. But one little thing I did an earmark. We talked about the trilogy. Maxine is coming out.
Maxine.
I stayed for the credits because I wanted to watch the trailer for Maxine. I wanted to see the teaser. Teaser starts. What's that? Oh, Obsession. I'm sorry. I saw Fresh this year, and they fucking use this song, and they use that song a million times better. And I'm sorry, I'm thinking about going to rewatch Fresh at the end of your fucking movie right now. So no, thank you. I don't care about Maxine. I'm gonna go rewatch Fresh. Fuck off.
All
Don't
right.
use the song on your teaser when a film already used that song and gave it rebirth in a amazing way. So that's how I felt. It's fine teaser, but genuinely, I was like, I know the song. I'm picturing him in my head, and I'm enjoying that, and I'm gonna rewatch Fresh. That's how I felt. I was like, if that's how I feel leaving your movie, I'm thinking about someone else's movie that I can't wait to see. You didn't do a good job. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought the teaser was a little weak myself, although I am excited about the setting, 1985.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ty West will give us a bunch of 80s slasher Easter eggs, as apparently Maxine will go crazy as Pearl did after experiencing and living through the
Right.
the
Porn industry. Yeah.
well, also the
Oh, the
what
events of the
the
movie.
events
Yeah.
of X, yeah, the events of
Right.
X.
But I mean, I want to see full frontal fucking Meg Ryan Bush because that's the period, that's the style, like that to me that's what I think I should see. I'm trying to be gross about it, but that would
I
be
mean,
entertaining. I'm
that
not
is
saying
the
for
time period.
for to get my rocks off, but I'm saying like that would make sense, and I think it'd be hilarious to do that. You went all the way with X, and it was way over the top and obscene. I
Yeah,
think you can get away with doing that. So for sure,
for sure.
it should be a fun one. But who knows what kind of genre it's going to be, and who knows how it's actually going to evolve.
Well,
Like is it going to be a slasher like X, or he's already done that? It's not going to be in the '70s style. Could it be in the '80s style? He did House of the Devil. Is it going to be '90s looking slasher set in the '80s? I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. I would expect
Uh,
it to come out soon, though. Yeah, expect it to
yeah,
come.
it's
Are
next year
they?
though. I'm sure.
I
No.
think. See, it's another missed opportunity to do what they did with Fear Street and put out a trilogy
Well, right,
fast,
but
right? Like boom, boom,
yeah, I'd say
boom.
look. Here's the other thing, like they cost like 2 mil, I think, to do X and Pearl. So
Yeah,
kudos, but also like,
yeah,
are you paying fucking slave wages to these people? Because this is some pretty good art. Like, and I know there's a good bit of people involved. Like, what the fuck are they
yeah.
getting paid? Like, Mia Goth probably deserves a whole lot more if that's all that you guys did this budget for. Like, kudos, but that's kind of shocking. Like, throw some fucking cash, A24. Like, I'm just saying, I know you're small, but
Well, yeah,
like these films
I
are
was gonna
making
say,
you big, big, big,
yeah,
and
I was,
so
but I mean, I don't think she's A-list. I don't think anyone is A-list in either of those
Oh,
movies.
yeah, I know. Well, there's plenty
J
of people saying she deserves a fucking Oscar for the performance, and it's like, okay,
that's
this
that's
is pump,
ridiculous.
pump,
Those
pump the
people are
brakes a
insane.
little bit.
Jenna
It's
Ortega
good.
is probably like A-list now, but I don't think she was when X came out, or she's like,
No, it's just fine.
she's getting there. She's getting there.
Yeah,
All right. Let's do some reviews.
yeah,
All right. Okay. Moving over to this thing. There we go. All right. So we're gonna review some reviews.
yeah. Quick rapid fire ones just to be entertained. You got one loaded?
I'm looking. I'm looking. You got one? Go.
Okay. So IMDb review. let's see, a 5 out of 10, colorfully whimsical but tediously lackluster. That's just the tagline to their short review. I kind of agree with that. As far as a disappointed for sure, 1 out of 10. That's a little bit harsh. Beautifully shot, but again, felt like A24 told them what that it needed to be out there before the end of the year and was quantity over quality. Who knows? I may have been in a bad mood or something. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Pearl, though, I thought was a flop. You got
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's. Goth delivers an electrifying and truly scary performance.
Oh, right. The word scary. We said this before. People are talking about. Oh, get to the Scorsese one, Christ, in a minute. The being scared. Like this is not a scary movie. This is not a
Yeah.
horror movie. This is a
Yeah.
fine movie. Mia Goth is great. There's nothing scary or horrific about this fucking movie.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese. A24's Pearl is so deeply disturbing that I had trouble falling asleep afterward. That is a quote from Variety magazine, or and a quote from, according to Variety, Martin Scorsese. I would like to edit
Yeah,
that with saying it was probably Martin Scorsese's publicist who said that after being
yeah.
paid a six-figure something for that fucking quote.
Well, so the thing about it, like perhaps if that's what we're saying, like maybe he's envious of Ty West is pretty hot. He's got a long career of horror films. He's done really good stuff. He is a great auteur of horror films. I don't think is anywhere near his best work. The Innkeepers, House of the Devil, X. These are all leagues of Sacrament, Killing of the in the Valley of Violence. Those are all amazing. This is very subpar Ty West quality film. You got another one loaded?
I'm getting there. An extraordinary horror prequel, 9 out of 10. For as much as I loved X and all of its bloody grandeur, I think that I might just prefer this one. Further viewings of both will see how this feeling holds up.
Yeah.
What?
Here's a rotten C plus. Dread Central says Pearl stands as a gorgeous 3-tier cake, but beneath its colorful exterior lays a dry, chalky product that prides style above substance. That's it's a
Yep.
very accurate snippet for how I ultimately felt and how I think we both felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get what's happening to her as a character. I get is traumatic and it is quote unquote horrific. It's disturbing,
Yeah.
but it's I'm sorry, like maybe I'm too cynical, maybe I've seen too much and I'm too demented myself to and like I've seen stuff. I hate when people say that. I hate saying that, but I've seen a lot of fucked up stuff and this isn't as fucked up as other stuff that I've seen. I get what it's doing and I guess on paper with a person that's not as versed in other things, then maybe it's a bit shocking, but I don't think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It was unfortunately boring. I
Yeah.
mean, it was beautiful, and Mia Goth was amazing, but
Yeah.
that just doesn't make the movie good.
American alligators have a lifespan of 30 to 50 years. This alligator is already fully grown. So, and this is 1918. So, at most, we're saying this is 50 years from that. So, 1968. So, this is not the same alligator.
Nope.
So, there's no real relationship. So, I guess that alligator clutch of eggs there. So, I guess one could believe that it wasn't a Lake Placid type thing, but I suppose we're saying one egg survived and made the news on it. Just a little nitpick because some people are associating, oh, the alligator is back, and it's like, man, it's not. It can't be the same alligator. Just
It's definitely not the same
not to be
alligator.
douchey about a detail, but thing. I've been known to be a douche, as you can
Yes,
attest.
it happens. It happens.
No,
Ask
I don't care.
ask Anastasia.
Heyo,
Yo, okay.
disturbing and sad.
Disturbing
While not
and
a film
sad.
for everyone, Pearl is an extraordinary movie and probably this year's best surprise, and this is partly due to the masterful, performance of the lead actress.
Okay,
I don't know.
check this guy out. Stephen Procopi from Third Coast Review. Incredibly effective, flawlessly acted, and works as both a standalone piece and as part of a whole. Tense, gripping, and sometimes shocking, the movie comes in as one of the better horror experiences I've had this year.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying
What?
that, and I don't get it, bro. Like
No, it was not. It just wasn't. It was
I
if the
I look,
oh,
I will never rewatch this.
yes.
Um, If I would recommend this to someone that was a big fan of X and just is they're on board with X. Give it a shot. It obviously, clearly, it worked for a ton of people. It very well may work for you. So sure, personally, I would not recommend it, but it seems the consensus people like it. So I would say go see it and make your own assessment. Obviously,
Yeah.
I couldn't. Tons of people are though.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gave it a 6. He gave it a
Boom.
5. Thanks for listening, and for the podcast for the recently deceased. I'm Nate Roberts,
And I am Rodney Godek. Take care.
and we'll see you next time.